Hi, my name is Cristina Greenfield. My family has been a patient of Hope for Healing for about 8 years. We originally found Dr. K because we were looking for someone to support our daughter who was diagnosed with autism at the age of about 2.5. The story is an interesting one, and it's a little bit different than some other people's stories that I'm aware of. But at 2.5, my daughter stopped. She started regressing, and really she just stopped progressing. And the school noticed it first, and they made us aware that she stopped playing with her peers and that she was more prone to having outbursts. She wasn't really talking. She wasn't super interested in potty training. And for a while, we just sort of watched this because I thought, well, maybe she just has different interests than other kids. You know, everybody progresses at different rates. Maybe she's just progressing differently. But then we noticed that she actually stopped talking and she stopped communicating, and all the progress that it seemed that she had made, she just stopped, and nobody had an answer for us. And so the school that she was at suggested that we have her evaluated for autism, which I thought was insane, because to me that my daughter was not, she did not show the signs of being autistic. At that time, I didn't believe that she showed the signs. Now, I admittedly didn't know much about autism at the time. So we went to the Meyer Center, Texas Children's, to have an evaluation. And in the span of a few hours, I left with an autism diagnosis for my child. And I had no, I went alone because my husband was with our baby. We just had another baby, so he was with the baby, and I went with Elsa, and I thought it was just a formality because I didn't believe that she would qualify for the diagnosis. And I remember calling him and telling him this news, and we were both just beside ourselves because we didn't really know what it meant. Like, what does it mean for her? What does it mean for her future? And it was nothing, again, that we expected. And I remember vividly asking the doctor, you know, why did this happen? What happened? And she said, well, sometimes parents just miss it. Sometimes children are not developing on the prescribed time schedule that they're supposed to, and you just miss it, which was actually one of my biggest fears, because I was not that, I did not feel that I was very maternal. So I had a spreadsheet and I was tracking her developmental milestones, and she was hitting them up until this certain point where she just stopped. And so for about 4 years, we sort of went on this special needs journey, and we tried to support her in every way that we could. We removed her from the Montessori school that she was in. She went into public education, special ed. We went into the world of IEPs and, accommodations and all of these things, speech therapy and occupational therapy and physical therapy. And nothing moved the needle. We weren't making any progress with helping her speak. All of her outbursts, because she was so frustrated without being able to talk or communicate, that never went away. She would elope. She would run off into traffic. She was stimming, so her behavior was flapping her hands. She would participate in echolalia, which is where she'll say some words, but sort of out of context. So it was, movies. She would say lines from movies that just didn't really make sense in context. She wouldn't answer her name. She stopped making eye contact. And so then we really believed that, maybe we were wrong. Maybe we missed it. And the autism diagnosis was correct because she's checking all these boxes. All these symptoms were very common to symptoms that are related to autism. But I found Dr. K and I found Hope for Healing. My hope was not, it didn't have anything to do with removing a diagnosis. I didn't believe that was possible. But I wanted help because I just thought, she seemed so uncomfortable, so in pain. She would wake up screaming every single night. She didn't sleep. She never slept. She was chronically constipated, always frustrated. All of these signs that it just showed me that she was uncomfortable and felt like she was in pain. And so I was looking for somebody to help me figure out how I could relieve some of those symptoms. And we found Dr. K. And one of the first things that Dr. K said, because I told her the same thing as I had told every other doctor, I said, something happened. She was meeting her milestones until she wasn't. And Dr. K was the first person that listened to me. And she started asking questions. And she said, well, what happened? when she started not meeting her milestones, did you move? And we did. We had moved into a house that was new to us, but it wasn't a new home, about 6 months before she experienced this regression. And so long story short, we found out that that home had hidden toxic mold that was blowing all over us and everything in the house, and resulted in neurological inflammation, which turns out was a cause of all of the symptoms that appeared to be autism in my daughter. And so we made some very difficult decisions. Actually, they weren't difficult at all when we figured out that that the home was, potentially the cause of my daughter's suffering. We just left, and we went through a remediation, disclosed, sold that house, but we never went back. And we left all of my children's toys and everything that they had known, and we moved. And it was actually such a blessing. And we had someone pray for us not long after we experienced that, and they said, "Thank God, thank God that it was revealed to you." And that really took me back, because it was such a it felt like such a traumatizing experience, not at all like a blessing. But when I look back, Dr. K was actually one of our very first angels, because she led us down the path to make us aware so that we could make informed decisions to save our daughter and our family. And so it changed things for us. But our daughter is, about 3 months after we left the home, she started, it was like the veil kind of lifted, and she started, making eye contact. She started answering to her name. She started talking. Today, she's in a class with neurotypical peers without autism accommodations. She does have some other learning differences, but those are, she's working through those. She's so funny. She's hilarious. She never has a lack of things to say. So those years that she was sort of on pause and unable to communicate, she's making up for that now with all the things that she talks to us about. She tells us, and she's so creative and innovative. So we, our whole family has Dr. K to thank for helping us, for guiding us, for giving us the information, for being patient with all of our frustrations. We didn't know what functional medicine was. We didn't understand how a functional medicine practice is organized, or how functional medicine works. We didn't understand anything about it. But thanks to her patience, and thanks to her commitment to educating families, and her commitment to providing resources, and her commitment to really taking a patient-led approach, because she's been very patient with us. There's been many times where we just said, we can't do all these supplements, or that, the girls that doesn't resonate with them right now. It's too hard. It's too difficult. And she has always met us where we are, where we were at the time, and helped lead us very gently to the place where everybody has experienced significant healing. Our life looks a lot different now. But I would say, if I think back to, had we not made the decision, I guess it's been about 8 years now, I think we would be in a very different place. All of us would be. So we're very grateful to Hope for Healing, to this practice, to Dr. K, to the education, to the resources, and to God for the healing that he's provided us through angels like Dr. Kruppstadt.
If this story resonated with you, you're not alone. So many parents are searching for answers, for hope, and for real healing, not just labels. At Hope for Healing, we specialize in getting to the root cause. If you're wondering what might be underneath you or your child's diagnosis, if you're ready for a different kind of conversation, we're here for you. Click the link in the description to schedule a free 15 to 30-minute welcome call with our team. Let's explore what's possible together.